Hey guys, welcome back to Combat to Hyperion, a series where I earn these combat money making methods to unlock a Hyperion. Now, normally when I do these episodes, I would, basically like journal my progress through the game using only combat money making methods. However, since the admins haven't released the Dragon Rush update yet, and I'm kind of waiting for that before I make any big money moves, I'm going to be going over 5 of the best money making methods in Skyblock that involve combat. Now, we're going to start with early game where we're making about 10 million coins per hour. But the only reason it's early game is because it requires very little gear, and then we're going to move our way up to 110 million coins, but that's for like end game players, and it'll require like a Hyperion and a Terminator. So figure out where you are in the game and what items you have and how you want to go through the game and how much money you want to be making, and try and figure out which money making method fits you. Now guys, for the method where you're making 10 million coins early game, the only requirement you need is just to be able to like get down to this area, right? And probably having the Bazaar unlocked. You need the Bazaar as well, but that's only Skyblock level 7, so if you don't have that already, then take like 10 minutes to unlock it. But yeah, this is in a solo lobby. I would definitely recommend you find a lobby where there's at least like 3 other people, at least 2 other people, 3 in total doing this, because as long as you place top 5, you get the same amount of loot, and I mean, you also get bonus loot for placing the Arachnes crawlings, but as long as you place top 5, you get the same like chance for getting loot. And obviously it's a lot easier to kill it if you have, that many people. Now the Arachne has a damage cap of 1000, so you don't have to worry about like, not dealing enough damage to kill it, because it's pretty simple. Now he will spawn in these little henchmen, and they're kind of annoying, so that's why I would recommend you use a cowhead, because they will poison you. Now if you're in a solo lobby, no matter what, you should be getting just absolutely obliterated. This is why I would recommend that you do it in a group, otherwise it takes way too long. Now maximum efficiency, I was grinding them out in like 90 per hour, and doing the math there, at the time when I was doing it, it was about 15 million coins. However, now the price has dropped around about 10 to 20%, so you're probably making only like 10 million coins per hour from grinding Arachnes. However, this is still a very decent amount of money, and I would definitely recommend you at least try this method, because it doesn't require any setup, so maybe you don't enjoy it, maybe it doesn't work for you, but definitely recommend you guys try this method out, because 10 million coins is a lot of money early game. Okay, really quickly, I'm giving away a free rank to a subscriber in every single one of the videos in this series once they hit 500 likes. I've already given away like 4 ranks, and I think we have like 4 to go, so check out the other videos as well. Comment your username down for a chance to win. I can see if you're subscribed, so please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it as well if you just subscribe anyway. Alright guys, so for the next method, it's kind of between early and mid game. You're probably making like 20 to 30 million coins per hour. It does depend on luck and skill. This one is very skill based. I've been at it for like tens of hours, and that's why I wouldn't say good, but I'd say pretty decent at it. I mean, I'm making like 10-minute bosses. If that hasn't given it away already, we're going to be grinding up Baal. You've probably already seen this. OPaper made a video on it, and it kind of went like super viral, like 60,000 views in 2 weeks or something crazy, so good job on him. But this is the setup you're going to want. A Soul's Rebound is probably one of the least necessary things, but it is very, very good, so if you can afford it, I recommend it. You can also wear full werewolf if you don't have the requirements for Terra armor, but obviously Terra armor, it helps a lot as well, and actually like triples the efficiency of it. Same with duplex. A lot of upgrades that like aren't necessary for starting out, but when you get the money, I would definitely recommend getting it if you want to improve how good this method is. Once you do that, I'm only showing you without mods that it's pretty decently easy to find the Baal coordinates, right? You just use a wishing compass and walk around. Now, if you have SkyTills and not enough updates, which please don't download them if you don't know enough about mods. Please don't get yourself routed, because I'm going to feel so bad. Don't get yourself routed, but pretty much, you can just find the coordinates very easily. And then what you want to be doing is, unfortunately the boss has already spawned in my lobby, so I'm going to wait a few minutes, but then I'm going to show you how to do the method. Alright, so Baal has respawned. I'm just waiting for him to get really big. In the meantime, if you're waiting, you can either just like, I guess, AFK in like a corner, like do yourself a hole like I have, or you can run around and try and get 10 hits on your thing. Getting the 10 hits will technically kill it faster, but if you see in a second, you kill it very fast, so you don't really need it that badly. Now, I found a private lobby. If you find one of these, it is literally golden. Okay, do not give it away. But like hold on to that for dear life, because you will be making so much money. But basically what you're waiting for is in the chat. If you can see, it says nearly there. The boss is shaking. It can't last much longer. This means if you leave the Khazad-dûm area, like I did, I just ran to the the magma field area, then it will like restart the spawning process. And that means, but the message means that he has been hit around about 150 times, meaning that if the boss requires like 18,000 hits to drop a Baal pet, then all you have to do is grind like 100 of them, and that only took me like 40 seconds. So you do the math, it's around about like 1 Baal pet every hour, plus like half of a legendary battle pet, so that equals to around about 23 million coins. Now obviously you get lucky or unlucky, you can, you know, increase the profits, but that just like depends. Now the next method is done in the Rift. Now if you don't know where the mirror room in the Rift is, then I probably wouldn't even recommend this method, because unlocking the Rift takes way too much time that it actually like doesn't equal out to being worth, unless you plan on doing like 1,000 hours of grinding the Rift. I wouldn't recommend it. But you can always, I mean, you have to unlock the Rift eventually, so once you get to the stage in the game, then make sure to, you know, try the method out for yourself. But pretty much there's no real way to maximize the efficiency here other than having like maxed gear and a Crocs Chromatron. Really it's just based off skill and how efficiently you can grind the shadows. Sorry, I'm having a terrible voiceover day. But yeah, pretty much you just grind them up there pretty simply. And then what you want to do is, the best way to get motes is to come over here. Now you want to go to the Vampire Slayer area. Maybe grinding lily pads in the first area, if you know where that is, near the lake, where you jump in the lake and the mobs like swim out to you. If you sell them to the nurse on the like dock in the middle of the ocean, then you might be able to grind up a little bit of money, but definitely not as efficiently as this is, because A, killing the mobs gives you the most amount of money, B, the drops give you the most amount of money, and C, you can leech off other people's bosses, and that is where you get like a ton of money. Like you can get like, I think it's like an average of like 2,500 motes per tier 4 leeched, and like 3,000 per tier 5 leeched. Now I just made up those numbers, but I'm pretty sure they're close to being accurate. Now once you buy the reflection books, you can come in here. My video did kind of change the pricing on them, but it is still around about 27 to 35 million coins, depending on how efficient you are and depending on the price of reflection books. But yeah, pretty good. Definitely recommend this if you want to be in the Rift and you want to do the most boring gameplay of all time. Alright, so now we're moving on to the 50 and 100 million coin money making methods. Now the 50 million coin is doing the tier 1 of Kudra. Now the only tiers that you ever want to be doing are tier 1, tier 4, and tier 5. Now maybe tier 3 if you like, I don't know, you're like very close to tier 4 and you just want to squeeze that tiny bit of money out of all your nether stars. And only do tier 2 if you have the keys, if you drop them from like a mage outlaw or something. Otherwise, it's a complete waste of time, complete waste of money. You do not get that much better drops from it, and it just takes a lot more time, so I wouldn't recommend doing it. But now, if you're in the like mid to late game stage of the game, I'm assuming you don't have a Hyperion and a Terminator, so we're going to scrap doing tier 4 and 5, and this leaves us with tier 1. Now, I know tier 1 sounds bad, but it's not like floor 1 of dungeons, because you still get decently similar drops. You can't get a few attributes, but you can get a few attributes, you just don't get them at the same level, and you need to do the higher floors to unlock them, but we'll get to that in a second. Don't matter about that. Technically, normally you're making like 30 million coins per hour. However, if you're grinding it during Mayor Aatrox with 3 perks, he makes the prices of all attributes go extremely high. The price of Crimson Armor go extremely high, and you're able to make like 50 million coins in my experience per hour. Now, the only way you're getting keys at this level is either leeching them with other people, getting them from doing mini bosses like Mage Outlaws, or somehow like killing Wither Spectres or something with like maybe a Spirit Scepter or like a Mage Midas Spoon. But really, you're probably not grinding them that efficiently, so be very careful with what you take out of the chest, because you never know how long it's going to take you to grind that money back. Now, if you're here at the 100 million coins per hour method, there's 2 things happen, maybe 3 things. A, you're like a person who just started Skyblock and you're curious of how you can make a ton of money. I'm here to tell you, you probably can't be using, you definitely for sure can't be using this method. Either 2, maybe you are actually like a mid to late game player who has a Hyperion and you want to know how to do this stuff. In that case, definitely recommend you watch a guide on doing Kudra. And the last one is you have like 20 billion coins, you have 8,000 Kudra runs completed, you're currently grinding Kudra right now for the 27th hour straight, and you just really want to insult my channel. So please be kind in the comment section when you give me criticism on how badly I've like described the Kudra money making grind to you guys. But yeah, so pretty much what I'm saying is, if you want to do tier 5 Kudra and you don't have at least 10 billion coins, do not even bother, okay, because it is very difficult. Now tier 4, on the other hand, all you need is a Hyperion if you want to play Stunner. Google what Stunner is. It's basically like the guy who stuns Bal. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it, while the other people shoot him with a Terminator, so you don't need a Terminator yourself. If you do have a Terminator, then you don't really need a Hyperion. I don't know why you wouldn't have one, but maybe you're grinding the money to get a Hyperion from this, and in that case, you know, I'd recommend you do it. Now, the reason this is better than, you know, tier 1 is because, for example, everything is like level 4. So you make 4 times more money from these books, you get probably more than 4 times as much essence, and you're getting, you know, 4 times levels attributes on the stuff, so it's pretty good. Now, you're probably making, in my experience, during a 3 perk Aatrox, like 80 million coins doing tier 4s, and then doing tier 5s, I don't even know. I have none of myself, but it's definitely more than 100 million coins from what I've heard. So yeah, these are the money making methods. This is kind of like a 5-step plan to making your 100 million coins per hour. Obviously, there are things you should be doing in between this, and there are parts of the game that don't involve hitting things with a sword, so check those out. But anyway, this is just like a filler episode while I wait for the Dragon Rush update. Admins, if you're watching this, please just release it. I don't care if it has 18 dupe bugs and it crashes the entire game and it wipes me. I just need content, okay? Anyway, cue the outro. Let's make a deal, guys. I'm not going to interrupt the channel, interrupt the video, I mean, halfway through and ask you guys to subscribe. But then you have to subscribe at the end of the video, which is right now. Comment on any of the videos in this series. Once they hit 500 likes, if you comment your username, you have a chance to win a free rank. I've given away like 5 free ranks already, so make sure to check that out. Comment username, subscribe. I can tell if you're subscribed. I'm not going to show the clip on screen. Maybe I will, but I can see if you're subscribed. So be subscribed. Why wouldn't you subscribe? Like I'm your friendly neighborhood YouTuber. Okay, so please subscribe.